Welcome everybody to Let's Just Hang Out. My name is Paola, and today's biggest obstacle was avoiding worms racing because it's raining out. I don't know if you guys can hear it or not, but yeah, today I wanted to talk about how sometimes a sense of accomplishment is good, right? It empowers you and makes you feel good. It's like sometimes you find it's like you're running a marathon and you can see the finish line. It's only like 3 feet away, and then someone comes along and is like, grabs the baton from you and crosses the finish line and is like, yay, I won! And here, you did all the work, and they kind of taken that accomplishment from you, right? And you don't have to let them have it, right? Sometimes you're doing it for you, right? It doesn't matter if it is something small, right? It comes down to, well, if I expected someone else to do everything for me, I'd have to wait till they decided to do it. And the thing is, if I decide to do it, right, I have certain standards, and it's not for me to say, oh, you're really dropping the ball, or you should have just known what I wanted. Of course not. But if I'm doing something and I'm almost done, and then someone comes along and says, here, I'll get that, can I help you, or whatever, and it's almost as if they seem insulted that I don't want help, and they might think I don't want help with anything, and that's not true. It couldn't be further from the truth, but it's like, why come in at the end just to say, I helped do that, or I did this nice thing for her, right? And it's like, well, you know, like, you could have done these 50 steps leading up to that one thing at the very end. It is like running a marathon, and then the other person being like, oh, I'm give me a pat on the back, I'm just so awesome. And it is awesome that they offer their help, but just because you don't want help sometimes doesn't mean you don't need help all the time. But people take offense to it and be like, well, I guess that just means that she doesn't want help then, and whatever else. And that's okay, right? It's okay. Yeah, I was super proud of myself. Yesterday was the first day I took a walk to the store. I know this is ridiculous, but I was able to take a walk to the store by myself. And usually I rely on other people and everything because I am handicapped and I have trouble walking. But it is getting a bit better, and I did have a ride, but I thought, no, I think I can do it. And the freedom that it gave me, it made me feel like, you know, whether or not people are, it makes me sometimes feel like people are in control of me or monitoring spirits, and everything I do is like, I gotta know, and whatever, and it really made me have a sense of freedom, like that I could do that, right? And I know that the controlling and monitoring stuff, it's just stuff in my head, but it was good for me. It was good for my soul to myself, right? To be able to do that for me, to say I'm in charge, right? I'm in charge of me, and it's silly. And I don't expect most people to probably understand this, right? But, and I seen, it was cool. It was cool. I found cool rock. I like rocks. That's a real conversation starter, guys. I like rocks. That's kind of a deterrent for most people. But I seen some bunnies and a goose in the bank parking lot. It was drinking from a puddle. It was cool. I got to talk to this older couple. They were sitting outside of London Drugs on a bench or whatever. And the lady had a walker and the guy was in a wheelchair. And he came over to talk to me. And he was talking about my tattoo, and it was neat, right? And my shoes, my shoes are neat. and he was saying how it'd be good if I had a basket on my walker. And I told him, well, I did. But then, like, I had it all filled up with paper clips and everything for fine motor skills. Like, you put them together and to practice that, right? And one day, I got so pissed off that I could walk like I used to, that I picked up my walker and threw it, and then all these paper clips were everywhere. I had like this adult temper tantrum, this moment, just like being upset about stuff, right? It's kind of a big loss, and it's okay to be upset. But you can either dwell on it, or you can just try to be the best you can be, right? Anyways, yeah. I did some gardening too a couple days ago, if you guys see my other video. And in the garden, it's so weird. I found these guys buried in there. Like a little older guy. And then this guy. He's cute. I think I've been in quarantine too long. And one day I went to the park right over here, and I managed to swing on the swing, right? I know it sounds foolish, right, to everybody, but when this first happened, I couldn't even pump my own legs, right? Like, pump myself on a swing, and I did it, and there was this family there, and I just started laughing. I had so much joy, like, I couldn't believe I did it myself, right? And I think it scared them. I do, but they were probably like, oh my goodness, what's wrong with this lady? But it was exhilarating to me because when this first happened, I was with somebody, and they had to push me. And I'm thankful they did. They really tried to make things better. It just didn't work out, right? But anyways, let's skip that noise. I found this little rock when I was there, and it looks like a little armchair. And I did this before I did the garden, and it's like the perfect little chair for this guy, right? And when I first took it and I got home, and I was like, oh my goodness, what if that was like the pixie lord's like throne? And he's pissed. He just went to the bathroom when I took it. But I don't know. I think it's perfect for that guy. And then these little people, they would got like significance for me because I had this inside joke. Right, with Drake. I had this inside joke with Drake because he had all these little people behind him, and I was like, oh, so they're the real ones who are doing it. And then, like, a month or so later, a couple months later, he had this little person, like, lapel pin or brooch. I don't know, I seen a little people on his shoulder. I know that sounds bad. That sounds so bad. But there's a picture to prove it. And this little people was on his shoulder. Anyways, if these are your little people, come send somebody to pick them up because the one guy's injured and the other guy's like protecting them. I brought them inside from the rain, and they're in the smoke shack, also known as Stone Island, because the shirt. Anyways. Oh, I've been like in quarantine too long. You guys all have been like I don't know how long, a year, 2 years, but I'm like going on like 8 years of just, I don't know if many of you have witnessed a conversation between a fly and a grasshopper. Like, this is the stuff I see because I don't get to participate in any of this wild world. So sometimes it's fascinating. I'll go to a store and just be mesmerized because I'll be like, oh my goodness, look at all these wares. I don't know. Anyways, be proud of yourself, and not in an arrogant way, right? And don't let anybody be like, oh, take the glory away from you. Like, even if it's within yourself. Like, sometimes people really do have good intentions and stuff, but the thing is, if they take that away from you, they're causing more harm than they are good, even though they're trying to cause good, right? Anyways, love yourself, and the street light's on again. Know what that means. Do what you do. Okay, bye.